Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, let's give all glory and honor and power, dominion to the Most High, Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, the Prince of Peace, the Wonderful Counselor. We give all glory and honor and power, dominion to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son. Shalom to you all, brothers and sisters who in His truth, who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessing. Today, I want to break down Revelation 20, Lord willing. This chapter is could be very difficult, if you're not in the spirit. So today I'm gonna go ahead and break it down. When you read in Revelation 20, it talk about there's two different 1,000 years, right? There's two different 1,000 years. 1,000 years going to take place in the kingdom when Yahweh shall return. And then the first 1,000 year already came to pass, right? You have to read this chapter precept by precept, here a little, there a little, according to Isaiah, I believe 28. Let me look that up. Let's go to Chad. Precept by precept. I think it's Isaiah. Precept, excuse my spelling. Precept by precept, here a little. Bible verse. Yeah, Isaiah 28 and 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's Isaiah 28. That's the only way to read Revelation 20. You have to read it precept by precept, here a little, there a little, for you to get the complete understanding, right? And I'm going to show you that exactly what I mean. Okay, let's get the King James version first. Revelation 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven. This is John, the Revelator, having a vision. He's having a dream. Keep that in mind. He's having a vision. So eventually, he's having a dream, a vision. But eventually, everything he's seeing is going to manifest in the physical, right? So he's having a vision. He don't even know what he's seeing, but he's having a vision. The Most High told him to write it down. So he's having a vision, which is going to play out in the future, in the physical, right? Verse 1, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit in a great chain in his hand. So what is the bottomless pit? The bottomless pit is Europe. Why it's called a bottomless pit? Because Europe don't produce anything. The landmass of Europe is like a dead state, a dead landmass. It does not produce no minerals, no oil, Majority of the thing that the European get, why they so rich, because they get it from Africa, right? Or the automotive things they get it from Africa. gold, uranium, diamonds, etc., etc. They get everything from Africa because Europe, the landmass is a dead, right? Is a dead land. It don't produce anything. And to explain that, let's get to show you that a pit means a landmass. Let's get second Esdras, right? Let's get second Esdras to prove that. Second Esdras 5:24. This is the Esdras talking to the Mosai, right? And the Mosai telling him that let's just read it. Second Esdras 5:24. And of all the flowers thereof, one flower has you chosen. Right, this is the Esdras talking. And of all the depth of the sea, you has filled one river, which is the Jordan River. That's the Mosai favorite river. And of all built cities, you has hollowed Zion unto yourself, Jerusalem. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Well, it is what I'm looking for. Let's look it up online. Let's look it up online. Let's look it up online. Second Esdras. What did I call? Second Esdras 5. Second Esdras 5. Second Esdras 5. Second Esdras 5. Where do I start? Let's start at 23. And said, O Lord, that bears rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof you has chosen the only one vine. And of all, there you go 24. I don't know what chat gave me. And of all lands of the whole world you has chosen the one pit, and of all flowers thereof one lily. See that? So the pit the Most High has chosen is the pit of Israel, the land of Israel. So when you go back to Revelation 20, it said, and I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit in a great chain in his hand. The bottomless pit represent Europe. That's where Esau dwell right now. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the British, the French, the German, right? The Spain, right? That's their landmass right now. So it's a bottomless pit. It doesn't produce anything. No minerals, no oils, no. It's just a dead land. They don't produce anything, right? Verse 2. And he lay hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Let me break this down. There's a lot to break down. Verse 2, let me read it again. And he lay hold on the dragon. So it's calling Esau, Edom, the dragon, right? And when you go to Revelation 12, Revelation 12, Revelation 12, okay, let's start. Well, you could start from verse 1. They're going to explain who is the dragon. And there appeared a great wonders in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet and upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. The woman represent the nation of Israel, the 12 stars, the 12 tribe of Israel. And she being with child cried, troubling in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonders in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. That great red dragon is Esau Edom, that represent the Roman Empire. What's that guy name? King Herod, right? A great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's the Roman Empire, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. Basically, the great red dragon represent Herod, Esau, Edom, the Roman Empire. Let's go back to verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Why it's called him the devil, Satan, the serpent? Because the same spirit that was in the garden is the same spirit that's upon the Esau, Edom. That same wicked demonic spirit, right? That spirit rests upon him right now. That's why it's called him the serpent, which is the devil. The devil just mean deceiver. He's a deceiver. And Satan means adversary. His adversary, Esau Edom is adversary to right anything of righteousness. He hate righteousness and bound him 1,000 years. So what this 1,000 years talking about, right? This 1,000 years took place after the Roman Empire fall. What you call today the Middle Ages, right? The Dark Ages. They call it the Dark Ages because around that time, uh, we was ruling. So the Roman, Esau, Edom, all of them, they went into hiding. They went into the clave of the rock, right? They was not ruling around that time. That's why they call it the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages. They were the slave for 1,000 years. We ruled Europe. We ruled the British Isle, right? For 1,000 years, Esau, Edom was nowhere to be found. They was in the Caucasus Mountain. You know, let's look it up. Uh, let's see how long. Let's see if they have it. How long was the Middle Middle Ages? Roughly about 1,000 years. There you go, right here. The Middle Ages, also called the medieval period, lasts about 1,000 years. See that? It lasts about 1,000 years. Start around 476 AD. Like I said, the fall of the Western Empire, and around 1450 and around 1500, the Renaissance. See, they came back. You're gonna see that they came back during the Renaissance, right? They came back. Look at this. Roughly 476, 1500, roughly about 1,000 years. That's the same thing it's talking about right here. Right? Verse 2, let me read it again. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. This is not talk about the spiritual demon Satan. This is talk about physical human being. It's talk about Esau Edom. He's a demon. He's the adversary. He's the devil. He's the deceiver. This is talk about the Roman Empire. This is talk about Esau Edom, not the spiritual demon Satan. The spirit rests upon them. They are the children of Satan, right? So this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. This is talking about the physical counterpart of Satan, Esau Edom. I have to make this clear. This is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. This is talk about Esau, Edom, right? He was bound 1,000 years. And we could get that history in Job. When you go to Job 30, give you the history of Esau, Edom, right? What they was doing during that time, right? Job 30 verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision. They is Esau, so-called Edom, so-called the white man, whose father I would have disdained to have set with the dog of my flock. Not even they're not even worthy. These people are not even worthy, right? They hang around with our dogs. Verse 2, yeah, whereto the strength of their hand profited me, in whom old age was perished. Verse 3, for want and famine they were solitary in the cave, fleeing in the wilderness, in the former time desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper root for their meat. They was eating junk. They was eating like poor men in the bushes, in the cave, in the rock, in the mountain. That's why they call themselves Caucasian, from the Caucasus Mountain, because they came from that region, right? Verse 5. They were driven forth from among men. That was beast like. They was acting like they acted like Nebuchadnezzar when the Most High cursed them with hair was growing all over him, looking like a damn animal. That's who they were. Let me read verse 5 again. They were driven forth from among men. They cry after them as after a thief to dwell in the cliff of the valley, right? In cave of the earth and in the rocks among the bushes they bray. I mean, they was making sound like like animals, like they bray. Let me read that again. Among the bushes they bray, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools. Yeah, children of the basement. They were valor than the earth. They was the worst. They the worst kind, man. Esau is a base man. It's the lowest man on earth. But today we look at them as as the standard of beauty because they empowered the Most High. They're in their rulership right now, you know. But they're ready to be destroyed. Now let's go back to Revelation 20. Like I said before, the first 1,000 years that represent Esau being bound. He has no rulership. He's not ruling around that time. He's in complete uh, destitute. He in the cave. He in root, like Job 30 said. He in junk. Basically, you know, he like what's the word I'm looking for lack of a better word? Uh, uncivilized. You know, beast like. Matter of fact, I have a picture that was. This is a middle aged picture. As you can see, this is a castle, right? This is the us in the castle right here. See, we were the queens and kings, and we're trying to keep the. Look at this, right? Those are garments, borders in blue, so-called black men, right? And we're trying to keep Esau away, the beast man. Look at him. You see that? So-called white man, right? That's the so-called white man, the beast man, the wild man. That's the word, the wild man. Look at them. Look at them. He's the wild man and the Israelite, keeping them away from right? We were the king and queen, you know. So Esau was bound 1,000 years in the cave, right? You know, they came back during the Renaissance, uh, by a man named Pope Alexander in 1492. Pope Alexander, Rodrigo Borgia, and he had a son by the name of Caesar Borgia. That's the one we see today everywhere as Jesus, right? During the Renaissance, they came back after the 1,000 years. They came back, as the scripture is gonna say it. In fact, let me go back to the scripture. I already explained verse 2. Let me read it again. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit. He cast him into the bottomless pit. We already explained what the pit is, which is Europe. And shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive. He shall deceive the nation no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season. Right now, he already loose. He's in his little season right now. That's why he's able to deceive the people again, because he's been loose ever since the Renaissance, the 1400. He been loose, and he's getting ready to cast down again by the Most High. So he's in his little season right now. That's why he's coming. He's getting ready to bring the NWO, right? The New World Order. So he's loose right now. The white man, the devil, Esau Edom, is loose right now. He was bound 1,000 years during the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. Our people ruled. We was not ruling in righteousness, but we was ruling Europe, Africa around that time. That's why they call it the Dark Ages, because dark nation was ruling. The Moors, right? We was ruling Europe. Esau Edom was in his beast like. Then after 1400, came back into power during the Renaissance. The Renaissance mean, let's look it up what it means. It means the rebirth. The meaning of Renaissance, that's a French word. It means the rebirth. Renaissance literally means rebirth. Rebirth from what? Because there was in a dead state, right? Esau Edom was in a dead state. So they came back during the Renaissance, meaning rebirth, right? And start taking over. They start taking over Europe, conquering every nation in Africa. They came over here and conquered. They go to Australia and conquer. They conquer Canada. They took it over from the Native American. Esau is ruling right now. He ruled the world right now, right? Now, let me read verse 3 again. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that excuse my word. He should deceive the nation no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Remember, I read, no, you have to read precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, right? For you to get understanding of this, you don't read verse 4 after you read verse 3. You have to go down to verse 7 to get the complete understanding, right? First, you read verse 3. Wait, hold on. You read verse 1, 2, 3, and you have to jump down to verse 7, and you're going to see it played out perfectly. Watch this. I'm going to read verse 3 again, right? Verse, Revelation 20, verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set the seal upon him, that he should deceive the nation no more, till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season. He must be loose a little season. Verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan should be loose out of his prison. Right now, he's loose. Like I said, is loose already. Verse 8. And shall go out to deceive the nation which are in the four corners of the earth. Right now, all the nations being deceived through the dollar, right? Christianity, right? What else? False education, false history, right? So the nation are being deceived. Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saint about in the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. That fire is gonna be that's gonna come out of the chariot when the Messiah returned, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach returned to fight World War III, to fight the nation, right? This fire is gonna come down from the chariot, right? Verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was matter of fact, let me stop right here. You know what? Let me continue. And the devil that deceived, verse 10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire. The lake of fire will be in America. The lake of fire will be in America. After when Russia, when America allies turn on him, because they're going to turn on the beast, right? Russia, China, even France, they're going to light up America with missiles, right? And America going to be the lake of fire. Eventually, the fire gonna die out, and it's gonna become a complete desert, right? So America is gonna be it's gonna be burning for a while. It's gonna be like a lake of fire, because when you look at America, and then you look at Canada, and then Mexico, America in the middle, it's like a lake. That's why it's called because you gotta understand, John is seeing the vision. He's seeing America burning in the middle of between Canada and South America and Mexico. So it looked like a lake burning with fire, right? Verse 10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast of America, and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night and forever and ever, right? This is the first 1,000 years. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to do a second part, right? Starting from verse 4, explaining the second 1,000 years that would take place in the kingdom. So I'm gonna do a second part. This is the first part. I'm gonna do a second part. The first part is the first 1,000 years, right? The first 1,000 years is Esau being bound in the bottomless pit, right? Being in chain, being in the cave. They have no power. They have no rulership. They're in the cave of the rock, right? That's the first 1,000 years. And after the first 1,000 years, they came out. with power, and during the Renaissance, meaning rebirth, by a man named Pope Alexander, 1492, Rodrigo Borgia, the father of Caesar Borgia, who today he paint his picture as Jesus Christ we know today, white Jesus, right? That's the first 1,000 years. There was bound for 1,000 years. There was bound for 1,000 years. There was the cavemen, the wild men. When you look at commercials like the cavemen, go look it up right now. I don't want to pull it up. I don't want to get a strike, but go look up the commercial for cavemen. That was them. That's them. Look at the intro of the for that show, The Cavemen. That's them. They telling you in movies, TV shows. That's how the white men tell his prophecy live, you know, through TV, television. You have to pick it up on it if you're in the spirit, you know. Shalom. Hope this first part was edifying. I'm gonna come back with the second part. Shalom. Peace and blessings.